It's day 1293 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This day of Arukh HaShulchan should be Lili Nishmas, Rivka Rachel Bas Chasida, my mother-in-law, who was Tifteres today. And the Shama should have tremendous isalus. So today we're doing Arukh HaShulchan, Yeridea, Sim Kuf Tzadi Hey, Sif Tez Zayin to Chavav. Tez Zayin. Lo yishan ma b'mita, they shouldn't sleep in the same bed. I feel kolcha b'bigdo, even each one is dressed. Not touching each other. I feel even each one has their own separate mattress. I feel even if they're lying in two beds. And the beds touch each other also. But so I need interruption between the two of them. But if the beds are separate from each other, they're permitted to remain in one room. The Torah is matir yichud as by nida, never asked Torah yichud by nida. The I grew up previously. Far hang. They have hanging curtains. Mutter, it's permitted. I guess even if it says surrounding both of them, as long as there's an interruption between the two beds on the, behind that curtain. Father, on the contrary, the Chazal Omer Be'er, and Chazal said, "Kol Yoshem Bekila Sheish V'Ishto Shreim Ba." Anybody who sleeps in that kind of canopy, where a man and wife are lying. Allah Akasub Omer person. This a person says, "Neshe'ami Tigrashumi Beis Tanugel." The wives of my nation you banish from the house of their pleasure. I feel nida, even when she's nida, lekapitu tashmish, when you're not causing them to have to refrain from having relations. Nevertheless, the woman is embarrassed to lay down there. And they can't also talk private matters. Mitzrayim is then they have anguish for this. They should. It is honorable for the woman to sleep in the same room as her husband. It's from the Rabbeinu Yosan and the Maharsha. Seems to Arab in Daf Yutes. Okay. The Yecholim Lehenu Zemizov Zumizeh Beria. They got to divide by pleasure for each other, even when she's in nida, by looking at each other. With this talk about he's allowed to look at her, places which are normally revealed. Even if though he derives pleasure by looking at her. But places which are normally covered. On her, lo tistakel, you should not look. Even her heel, you shouldn't look. Evidently, the heels were normally concealed at that time. So it is in many circles. I don't know if anybody's really mocking on this, as matter of fact. The bracket says here, the Tur v'Shulchan Sleep Zayin. The Tur v'Shulchan have this Echor Neged Hashas and the Doim Chaf HaMalush and Parashon Dakva Hu Makom HaErva. It explains that Akev is one of the euphemisms for the genitals. Ayin Sham. Acharayvet Mebe Sefer Bal Nefesh Piresh Nezeh Kai Atohera. He says that that this is going to look at the issa to look at her okay is going on a woman who's tar. In other words, to look at the genitals. But by nida also her actual heel is inappropriate to gaze at. I think probably it's more the ankle. Oh, sorry. Comma. The difficulties with this Ayin Sham. To arrive at Atzishab, Pshit couldn't arrive, it works out well. Okay, it means one thing when she's mutaris, and another thing when she's a surah. Ayin Sidrei Tara. Yud Zayin, there's one who writes B'lashon Zeh, the following language. The Mita shall eitz o shall binyan, a bed of wood or of stones. Mutar mitasa v'hi v'mitasa. Allowed to remain him in his bed and she in her bed. It's the Shach name Maram al Shakar. There's no way to understand this. It's the Sijit Tara by goes for Baruch Frankel. Nearly to come out of who? Kingdom. So I think it means like this, says the Rosh Hashanah. Moshi Yesh B'Botei Anshi Chayil. Looks like there are in houses of soldiers, Shekoin Loris. We can, whatever, I don't know if that's the name of the house, the name of this contraption is about to speak about. If you can meet the Rechava al it's like a bed on, what do I make of this? Bed along the entire rim of the room. And the interruptions between each segment. Even though they're both all connected together, still not like one bed. They can sleep at different places around the room. Because you can tell them it's between place and place. But actually, the smuchim says as long as they're not juxtaposed, adjacent, right next to each other. Rak behefsek mokum echad. There has to be a skip of one mokum. Zel mita shal eitz. That is the concept of a bed of wood. V'yesh ma'binyan atzmo. You'll say gazuz kizuzos. Sometimes in the building itself, they come out certain platforms. Lishkav aleim, to lie upon him. Gankim b'tmush yisbar in the same picture which we just described. Zel mita shal binyan. That is the mita which is constructed of stone. Yurches, Leisha Mita Yuchedes Law, the husband shot said in her special designated bed, even if she's not around. Because she's not lie down there. Yes, some say the Yeshiva ain't paid and sit, and some say we don't care if you sit down, it's fine. Rak Lishkava, so only to lie down is also Mishum hero because he might come to lascivious thoughts. That's the Shach name of the Bach. And it's a pashut that to lie on bedclothes which are designated for her, the also that it's forbidden from the Chochmah Sodom, mitam she's bar, from this reason which you wrote. Neither the rak b'shchiva the asur, only lying down is asur, al b'shiva mutar sitting down is permitted. Einshal. V'imil muteres lishkav b'mita. So whether she can lie in his bed, nechluku achroim argue. Yesh matim, some say okay, v'yeshurim, some say no good. First opinion, which is Machtir, is Minchas Yaakov, and the Yeshurun is the Taz. Mishum Yeshihara b'shichva v'kuma, because he'll have thoughts when she gets up and when she lay down. V'fiza shalom panav b'alei mutar. But according to this, if he's not around, it's only going to be permitted. You test. V'leishay b'saf lo aroch, to sit on a long bench. Kshehu o he. Love when they're both sitting on it. Also, when one of them sitting on it. Also, the second one can't sit on it. Mineshim is not because it rocks. And that's like touching. Aval koras kamenim, but a heavy beam, she'enim is nothing which do not vibrate. Oh, safsel covered a heavy bench. V'chein akisei gedoyla, and also on a big chair. Shekorin kanapa, I guess canopy chair. Mutayim shneim le'sheva le'eh, they both sit on it. Yes, I feel with safsel kal, some be allowed even by a light bench. She'adam acher mafsik b'neim, another person is in between of them, between the two of them. You can't ask questions this from the case of a zav and a normal person who sat on a light object. The Torah that the Torah becomes tamei. Like says Zav. The shebezav metame heseito. That's because by a zav, even you move something, it becomes tamei. How come here heset and it's no prohibition of moving. Rak negia, only touching. If you move inadvertently, or indirectly, it's okay. When she gets up and interrupts it, they won't come to touch each other. But the other individual is not interrupting them. It's possible that by shaking this long bench, they're going to come to touch each other. They have to travel in a wagon for their needs, not for a vacation. But it's permitted, even though rocks, mishum the ain't a mom, it's not like literally touching. Chemutar is ever permitted, uvad shelo yigu zeh bezu, as long as they don't touch each other, even they're wearing that's behind clothing. This is permitted, even if there's somebody else there, it's just they themselves. For the Masfira, so it's true about a boat. It's only if they're traveling for their necessities. But just to have a tiul, and to stroll in the gardens and the orchards, also is forbidden. When they go for a vacation, a holiday journey, there's a lot of connection. We're afraid that they're going to stumble. And they were not, they also didn't allow this for the purpose of just taking a tiyul. Not sure what it means by this. It's just, I think he just said it. I guess it means just, in other words, not just traveling, but even just walking together. They have specific garments that they have time when she's nida. So always remember that she's nida kalashona. Sif Test Kosav and Sif Test writes Bekoshi Tiru Lo Iskashi Medida. So it was great difficulty that they allowed her to a woman to adorn herself when she's Anita. El Kadesh is gonna bow only enough that she doesn't get repulsed in her husband's eyes. Picture of they asked upon him, but self Perek Avobi, the end of the fifth Perek Subas, and before Shbagmar time Acher going to Meini Dasa. There's another reason given on regarding Meini Dasa. On garments for the time she's nida, Kadesh is gonna bala, she shouldn't become repulsive to her husband. Perish Rashi explained to Shekshirena, be made Tarasa, but God she loves you. May he do so? It be Caesar during the days of Ataro with the garments she wore during when she was nida. She's gonna be degraded in his eyes. Why do you guys have to say that it's in order to remember that she's in Nida? It's a Minchas Yaakov, CJ Tara, Krisi Placey, and they have difficulty resolving this. This idea of the this way they put these two halachas together. The Memesh Shnei Gemaras Elu Sosrim Zeh, these two Gemaras contradict each other. The Sham Shetis Tabash Godim Yuchayim made do so Ktesh Lo Tiskan Elav. One place it says she should wear special clothing when she's nida, so she shouldn't become repugnant to him. But a woman can be assumed to be a nida if her neighbors tell us that she was a nida. So these garments are worse. They said if she's assumed to be a nida by her neighbors. Rashi explains this. Big day nidos. They saw wearing garments of nidos. So mistama lov laveshes biyusa begotten gruyim lamakushatim. And we assume by default that the garments she wears when she is a nida are poor in quality and not adorned. So having a guard is the opposite of the words of the Gemara. B'Shabbos it says v'davar midina sa. A woman is initially that was the way they learned the pasuk pshuto that she shouldn't put on makeup or get dressed in cover clothing. That's what Rabbi Kiva made until Rabbi Kiva came and taught. In Kerata Magana Abala, that's the case going to make her repulsive to her husband. Ain Sham. See there. Harei Lehefach is the opposite. Shelo Telech B'Meini Dasa Mekushetes Tiskaneh Beinov. If she doesn't go on the days you need her, when she is adorned, then she'll be repulsive to him. Because I know, have a whole different set of jewelry for Nida, so let me stop it. Doesn't make sense. Everybody's rich enough to do that. This is the primary root of the matter. The day of Shon Yishmael, there are different psychological states by people. Yesh Misha Ksharoy Shtom Kushet Meni Dusa, Kamei Tarasa. There is a person who sees his wife adorned during the day she's Nida, as in the days when she's a Torah. Mizgana La Bezuchre Meni Dusa is going to make the connection, and she's going to be degrading his eyes when he remembers her being a Nida. And some people, they're not repulsed by this. On the contrary, when he sees her in simple clothing, that's really repulsive. So everybody has to do what they see fit. There's no one answer, but works for everybody. The Meir b'Mashrei Isha, the Shlisha talks about sending your wife to a third party. Amru Chazal said shechol kufa l'itein la begadim hayishani l'meini dusa. She can compel him to give her the old garments, but they have nida, days of nida. They show this kind of made up, so she shouldn't look like she's, I guess, frivolous in his eyes. Also, shubal tevazu. You can say that shamacharta also that tevazu. So shubal tevazu. Something is wrong here. I guess you could say that you sold them because you're not put off by them, but I need them. Shabbos Rabbi Akiva lehefech. Shabbos Rabbi Akiva says the opposite. Tasa klau b'zeh mizgana abalo. Klomar, meaning ilefi tivo, based on his nature, kama their nature, kama neodam. That's my place. Okay, but Shabbos Rabbi Akiva lehefech. Tasa klau b'zeh. If she does any of this, she'll become she'll become repulsive to her husband. TV, common elam, according to nations and people. Besides that, ain din kavod, so there's no set halacha. They juxtapose shnei dinim elu smuchim zel zeh, next to each other. Zel shekasav ru'uya v'chulei kadei shiyu zoichrim v'chulei klamar meruli b'chacher derech zeh kadei shiyu zkoy. Check a pathway which works for you. Now remember that she's an ida. They should remember Sukoshi too, because really they were only matir at Haidei Chak. We can't compel him if it's against the nature. Sometimes Hiti Rabbi Akiva. That's why he was matir. This whatever this. Is mount here. Oh, you said beginning of the sif. Okay, although Imenu negative, it's not against nature. Tov she rule him derech zeh. They should take the standard. They she is gar al. Is kuru I made does to remember when she's in nida. Chal gimel im he sochas atzmo, she anoints herself good for her body or there her clothing bereach tov with the perfume or some sort of other fragrance. Pshita jasul lenos mi reach gufa gufa. So obviously they can't have pleasure from the fragrance of her body, uvgodeh, out her clothing. There's no worse taunting of the Yetzirah. But left over from her perfume, if it's left in the kli, it's not a problem. The aim is that's not going to cause a bonding. L'shma calls Emer Shalom near Ganke in the Osir. To listen to her singing also seems to be Osir, the Megari Yetzirah. This drives the Yetzirah. I'm not sure it's not sure Bizman Hazeh. I believe Rav Ovadia Yosef has a leniency in this respect. I don't think people get the Yetzirahs from listening to the wife sing when she's in Nida, and therefore I paskin like, and I think I was told also David Lichitz is not there, so therefore I say it's mutter as well. It's all true when she's in Nida, or she's counting Shemakim, or she saw a stain. There's no difference in the scenario. The brackets he says, whatever the Ramah said there, if she's sick and there's nobody to serve him, except for his wife, she's allowed to serve him. They came into Shulchan, since he's sick, he won't convince her to do an Avera. Or the other way around. His wife is not going to convince him to do an Avera. But Isha Eina Margelis Avera, the woman doesn't get tempted, especially when she's Nida. Like the Zar B'Yosef, she be very careful. She tuchali Zar merchotas panav yadav v'raglav, not to wash his face, hands, and legs. But so samita and make the bed be in front of him. The same maybe hardly they hear go over, but that means a lot, a major way to the behavior which they're not allowed to do when she's in Nida. And in pouring a cup, there's not so much kiruv, even though that's by a healthy person. Near them, it seems also if she need her to wash him, but so samita and make the bed. Can't do without her. Mutter ganke mitam shnis bar is also mutter from the reason which we explained. That if he's sick, it's not going to be a problem. Rachmanim wrote this. Chav hey, avok shvi choyla. Is chav hey part of this? I believe it is. Not just chav hey. Chav vav. Oh boy. Avok shvi choyla b'nida. If she's sick and she's in nida, kasar baby. It's yosef siman zev. It's el shana. Isha choyla b'nida. A woman who's sick and in nida. But her husband may not touch her. They l'shamsha to serve her. A girl lakima l'shiva l'shkiva samcha to raise her up, to lie her down, and to support her. Bala rufei, and if her husband is a doctor, also mashesh l'adovik is not allowed to feel her pulse. Akal shan. Rabbi Ramakas v'adin arishon. Well, it's the first halacha. The issue in some say dim ain la. Misham Shana, if she doesn't have something to serve her, mutter akol, everything is permitted. B'chein nogim, that's the custom. In Tzir Chai Be'el Kach, she needs it very much so. Akal Shono. Adir Shenik Shabal Rofei, custom is El Shono. And the second halacha about her husband being a doctor, he writes, Fimash Gusav Dinogin Hatter in Tzir Chai, a law, the Shamish law. According to what I said, the custom is to be lenient if he needs her to be Mashamisher, if she needs him to be Mashamisher. Koshke and Mutal Mashesh Ladefik, so that take her pulse. Im Ein Rofei Acher, there's another doctor, Va'artzricha Elav, and she needs this one. The Yesh Sakona B'choyan, there's a danger in her illness, dangerous illness. All this is from the Beis Yosef. Chavav, what he means to say, I think, the Rabbi saying about the children of Abayo Savre, both the Mechar and Ramahol, the Makva Sakana Mutter, a place where it's dangerous, permitted. After I've been able to see Sifra Agoda Mistapik, even though the base is not sure, why that's why I'm feeling coming crave about Rayas Osmin Torah, Perhaps Kohen Ramos also said any type of coming close to rise is also be the Raisa. And let the feel Makom Sakara. We shouldn't be a matter where it's a danger. I shop. Kamakal nevertheless comes to Pshito Lekain that it's okay. For sure it's possible that it's okay. Kenkasur Ramban Varad Baz Shuvos. The reason for this is the Afal God, the Beso Perik Mensor Mora, Osukam Mechomin Kurva, from the Yombus Yavor, even though it's a famous story of the guy behind the fence, where they told him he has to drop dead and not even talk to her. That's because he became Avera and brought dirt into his soul. Also, any male who's involved in his parnasa, in his work, has no issue. It's obviously an expert doctor. He's allowed to check all the innards if he needs to do so. Mishum the Etzemach was involved in his malacha. The Ragged says, Kabanas HaShach, B'sivkat and Chav, B'skim Elokam G'doilim, V'lochinam Hisila B'Shmuel B'Ebenezer. Whatever B'Shmuel says, he said.